This is the Formula Lithium, the latest release from VRC Modding Team. In this video, I'm going to talk about why this car has completely blown away my expectations and why I believe it's the best all-electric car in sim racing. Let's do it. So, as mentioned, this is the Formula Lithium 2019 from VRC Modding Team. So, before we get into what this car actually is, I want to tell you just a quick story here. I was not originally going to buy this car. So, I'm not a Formula E fan, really. Some of the racing I've seen lately has been absolutely fantastic over the past few races that I have caught. The racing action has been incredible on those tight street circuits, but there's not a lot of tight street circuits available, or none that I have, anyway, few that I have for Assetto Corsa. So I thought to myself, why buy this? And I'm not a fan of Formula E overall. I'm still warming to the concept of an all-electric race car. You know, I like the sounds of, classic F1 cars and modern Indy cars and to some extent NASCAR, and the sound of a Formula E to me is just very off-putting, and this car obviously is based on the second generation Formula E. So I went in with a strong air of skepticism, but the car has just totally annihilated any of that skepticism and made me wonder why I questioned it in the first place, if I'm being honest. The car is so fantastically well done. So the reason I did end up pulling the trigger on this was primarily because VRC has done such quality mods in the past. I really like their work. And then I was reading a bit about this car, and I found out that the concept of having the all-electric and having the app that they wanted to include with this, that you'll see when I take this out on track, it wasn't working based on the base level Assetto Corsa, the stock Assetto Corsa, so they engaged the help of the creators of the shaders patch, and those guys have a deep understanding of the sort of possibilities of Assetto Corsa, and it all came together very, very nicely once they had engaged that help. And so it's just an incredible piece of machinery, this. So second generation Formula E, like I said, so you're looking at somewhere around 300 horsepower by the time you engage attack mode, and there is a bit of additional power with the fan boost, but we won't go there because I'm not a big fan of fan boost in the real life Formula E car. Thankfully it's not included here, but you're still looking at about 300 horsepower, and it's delivered in a very unique way. This is the torque curve, and as you can see, it's very, very different than anything you've driven before. Total weight is about 900 kilograms, including the driver, and it has a high amount of downforce. Now, what you're looking at in terms of track performance is very, very similar to a GT4 car. I'm about at the level of a GT4 car with this. It's not as fast as I am with a GT3 car, but at the right course it's about as fast as a GT4 car, but almost totally silent when doing it. So I'm gonna get this out on track because this is where the car absolutely shines. Aesthetically they've done a great job. The car looks tremendous. They've done a great job with detailing, as you can see on your screen there, but more importantly it's how it drives. The best Formula E car we had to date, in my opinion, was the R Factor 2 E-Series mod. I can't remember what they called it, but it might have just been called the Formula E car. How about that? But that was the best to date. I never loved that, but I've really just been blown away by how good VRC has done with this car. It's just absolutely tremendous work, and it really shines on the track, and it's great in races too. But for today I'm just going to take it out to Silverstone International and do a few laps. I'll introduce you guys to the app. I'll introduce you to the sort of performance capabilities of the car, or as much as my skill set allows, that is. And we'll go from there. So yeah, let's not waste any more time, guys. Just mind blown with this thing. I can't say enough good about how this performs, and just redefines how I view E-Series cars and all electric cars in sim racing. It's just next level. So let's get it out on track, guys. Alright guys, so here we are in the pits at Silverstone International. About to jump on board. Battery is fired up, and I will explain about the app as we're going around here. So the app is actually something you've never seen before. This is a custom app just for this car, or intended primarily for this car, I should say. I'm sure it'll have application elsewhere. But for the time being, VRC has designed it solely for this car. And it's so advanced, in fact, that they couldn't run it on the base Assetto Corsa. They had to enlist the help of the people behind the shaders patch to actually get things working. And so I guess we might as well go through it as I'm doing my warm-up laps here. You can see across the top there that big green bar on the right-hand side of your screen, on the right-hand side of the app, I should say. That is obviously your remaining battery. And then the autonomy just below that. That is actually how many laps you will get of this track based on your consumption and regen rates. So it will adjust when I turn this up to high or to qualifying mode. The number of forecast laps will drop off, of course. No different than your fuel consumption expectancy in a standard petrol engine. So you can see the ease at which it goes around those high-speed corners. It's a very, very stable car. It's got that massive battery. And the results is a very stable car. The default setup, by the way, should be recognized that it's absolutely fantastic. Really, really great default setup here. So for those of you that are not setup gurus, much like myself, you will enjoy this car in its default state. And then below those bars you can see it's kind of deltas to your previous lap, shows how much energy you're using versus previous, and of course your time delta as well. And on the left side of the screen there, you see the attack 2 of 2. What that is actually referring to is push to pass, and I'm not going to use them yet because you only get 2 per qualifying session, and 2 per race as well. So basically it kicks it up. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think it's the equivalent of about 20 horsepower for 20 seconds to help you get by your competitors. Alright, nice and settled in here on these tires. I'm going to go ahead and turn that up to high. There's still one mode above this, but I'll get used to this for a couple laps before I actually start cranking out the faster laps. I hope to be somewhere in the sort of 101, 102 range by the time I'm in qualifying mode. Last one was a 106, and I'm about a half second up on that right now. Turn down my regen just slightly. Whoop. Caught a curb there. And one thing I will say, this default setup is fantastic, but the car itself is, as I like to say, not something you'd fall asleep behind the wheel of. It will step out on you if you abuse it coming out of a corner or anything like that. You do have to be somewhat mindful of your inputs. But the RSS 2000, it is not. That car absolutely punishes me. I don't feel that way about this Formula Lithium. You saw a little correction there. Car was starting to slip just slightly. And after this, we'll go into quali mode and start to use the push to pass. And like I said, see if we can get down into the 101 range. Because even on this high mode, I seem to be stuck at the 105. So maybe 101, 102 is not attainable in quali mode, but we'll see. Whoa, bit faster on here. Just about lost it. Alright, quali mode engaged, and you'll see that the forecast originally was for about 30 laps. So you should... Whoa! There you go, that's what I was talking about. You should start to see that drop off sharply in quali mode. Obviously this lap will be nothing. Feels like we cooked the tires a bit there, so we're gonna probably be sliding into this corner. Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. And still a little apprehensive of the vehicle right now. But you can see that massive speed difference down the straight. You see the time falling off there. Already up close to a second, and that was just about on that straightaway alone. You definitely get more of that straight line speed in this vehicle when you switch to quali mode. Silverstone International looking as beautiful as ever here at sunset. Alright, so it seems like we're away clean here, down to the 102 there. Gonna try a push to pass when we hit the straightaway. And yeah, such a great setup. It's an absolutely fantastic driving car for something that I really didn't think I would enjoy. I'm so impressed with this. Alright, so here's our attack. See, we're going to hit our peak speed of, I think it's 238 very, very quickly here. On the brakes a little early. I was slower around that corner than I was on the previous lap. Alright, so let's test. I don't know how this is going to work out, but let's see what we have for aero grip. So I am going to use the push to pass, and that's going to get me a whole bunch of speed down here. And we'll see what happens around this high speed right-hander. Oh, had to lift, had to lift. Only slightly, but I did lift. So that is obviously not the place on the circuit to use push to pass. A little dangerous coming into that corner. Whoa! Too much. Alright, so we'll finish up this lap and then try and get a clean one in. We have used both of our attacks. 101.866 was the previous, so I did get my 101. Definitely more skilled drivers would be under a minute here. But yeah, guys, I really can't say enough about the quality of this mod and just the sheer drivability for something that I did not expect to like. I've just really become smitten with this thing. Couldn't wait to get the review out for you guys. Alright, let's see if we can keep it clean here. Turn a lap under the 101 mark. Alright, got a good corner there. Up about 0.8. Coming up on 0.9. Imagine if I had to push to pass, this would be a done deal. Alright, so let's hold it together here. Edge of grip all the way around this right-hander. Managed to hold it. Just 2 more turns to go here. And there we go. So, extremely impressive car, guys. This one strongly gets a thumbs up from me, or gets a strong thumbs up from me, I should say. So impressed for a car that I didn't really want to like. Well, I wouldn't say I didn't want to like. I didn't think I would like it, but just so impressed with how it drives. And I look forward to many races with this thing. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. And just one more note here, guys, before I close out the video. Since I created this video, the creator of the sounds for the Formula Lithium 2019 has posted on Race Department optional V12 sounds, so you can actually make these cars sound like a V12 powered car. I'm a little bit against that. I think, you know, even though I don't love the sounds of the Formula E, I love the purity and the great work that VRC has done, so I'm going to leave that out. But just so you know, if you can't stand the sounds, good news, head on over to Race Department. There's a free V12 sound upgrade. Enjoy these laps, guys.